theoretically, if you're building in rupees, spending in rupees, and you're earning in dollars, then isn't this the best time to build SaaS in India? Because you can now have better gross margins, you can have lower R&D costs. Where you will compete is probably with a relatively similar sized US company is on CAC, but everything else, every other input metric is going to be way cheaper. So you can probably build a better, faster, more refined product today for somebody who's gone and occupied that market and own that space completely.
So yes, philosophically, no, from three angles. One, if you look at your spends, your server costs are in dollars, your LLM costs are in dollars, your S&M on the Facebook, Google, all of those are in dollars. Where are you saving rupees? R&D, you have 1.5x leverage India to US engineers. It's not massive. Like, let's say not an SF engineer, but somewhere in between engineer, like a Midwest or something. Your SME, sales may, if you have to do feet on the street, they're assuming you're an enterprise. You don't have any leverage there. It's only in the inside sales where you have a little bit of leverage and customer support. So overall, as a percentage of your P&L, how much leverage are we talking about? Now, let's say the other part, the negative to that is if you're building a vertical SaaS, your PMF for an Indian customer and PMF for a US customer, unless it's a horizontal play, is going to be very, very different. Locally, you may want to build and you may want to sell here if you think that's your customer target. But the things which Indian customers will ask and the things which a global customer will ask, let's say US, there's a localization problem, there's a cultural problem, there's a regulatory issue, different things will have different impact. So a PMF here does not mean a PMF out there. So, and then there, the ability, so two ways again to look at it, the ability to raise capital is still much higher compared to here. From here, a founder, if he has to sell to US, he'll have to travel to US, park himself there, figure out the nuances of managing multiple team members. So overall leverage, is there going to be something which is massive just in this terms of rupee dollar arbitrage? Or is this going to be a meta layer on top of that where you have extreme domain knowledge, or you have a tech advantage, or you understand a market segment extremely well where you either have a distribution advantage? So this, I don't believe that this cost arbitrage is probably going to work for the long run because it's a very small part of the P&L. But the only thing, exits, let's say in India, if you can list a company at, I don't know, $10 billion or 100 crores in India, that opens a new exit stream, which doesn't happen which would not happen in US. But is that just going to be a time arbitrage right now, or is this going to be permanent in India once they have lesser scarcity of listed companies? That we'll have to see.
Got it. Interesting. Yeah. So we've always looked at, in fact, I always thought that with AI, all of the profitability is going to get compounded. Primarily because if you look at COGS, your support costs are going low, but your fixed costs for servers are going higher. R&D costs are probably getting lowered by 30-40% because of productivity. You have S&M costs where a lot of the automated outbound emailing is happening, and you combine that with all of these things and G&A, like finance and legal, are being disrupted by AI. So now combine that with a really low labor cost. I thought that this would create a ultra hyper profitable company which is venture strapped far earlier in its journey than what it could have done earlier.
Correct. But somebody in the US can also do this. So I mean, how many humans in the loop are getting involved in this? So the AI is like, so equilibrium will move. Everybody at some point will be doing that. So then there's only a time arbitrage. But if you look at SaaS companies, they take anything between 1 to 3 years to just get PMF. Then another couple of years to get to 5-10 million at some scale, and then you go to the later journey. By that time, I think most of this equilibrium is done. And the other unreal fact about AI is, in SaaS, every time a user uses a product more, we are happy because NRR, we have more usage, more of the product. And there's very incremental cost to the server. In AI, anytime somebody uses, if there's a high velocity or high performance user, he's basically taking your gross margins down because you have a cost of LM. So some of these things, even we are unsure how this will pan out. But will there be from 2010 to 2015, let's say companies have built, they had great leverage on engineering cost, your inside sales cost, customer support cost, even the likes of product manager and all. Bunch of those are getting eroded away because higher costs here. And also people like even the global companies have figured out how to have their teams here. But if you look at the P&L, bulk of your cost is going to be server cost, S&M cost, and then part of this is R&D and everything else. So is there going to be leverage? But then they have other benefits on market access, faster movement, aggressiveness, bigger talent pool, blah, blah, blah.